Hi, my name's Mary O'Brien, and I was the former Divisional Social Worker for Mental Health and CAMHS in Belfast Trust. I had total responsibility for the social work workforce during that period. I recently retired, or as I like to say, I'm rewiring into a new stage of my life. Over many years, I worked with Jerry Skelton in a number of ways. I had the privilege of presenting training in Belfast Met. I had the privilege to be part of a number of homeless awareness panels. When I was first training to be a social worker, there was no mention of homelessness. There was no mention of the impact of homelessness on the individual. It didn't really seem to be a social work issue or concern, which astounds me. And astounded me then, because prior to becoming a social worker, I'd worked in the homelessness sector for 2 years. And I seen the significant difference it meant to the individual, not knowing where they were going to lay their head in a night. The difference it made to their self-esteem, the difference it made to their hope for a future. Jerry Skelton was a lone voice in those days, and really for a long number of years, in relation to the impact of homelessness and the responsibility of social work to take this issue seriously. He set up the homeless awareness panels. He brought homelessness into training, into social work training, got social workers to think about it, got social workers to really put it into practice when they qualified. To see that for a lot of homeless people who live in hostels, the next move is into temporary accommodation. And supporting people, while wonderful, and I've had the privilege to work with the Northern Ireland Housing Executive for a very long time, and I set up our supported living in Belfast for mental health. But it's temporary on the main, up to 2 years. So moving from a hostel into then temporary accommodation, still having the concern, well, where am I going to be? What's my permanent address going to be? And Jerry is focusing this year on this. I support Jerry in all that he does in relation to this, and in all other areas really. But he has raised for a long time that actually social work needs to stand up and say that this is a real issue and concern. That an individual being homeless is our business, and it very much is. Within my role, I took it very seriously. As people were coming out of hospital not knowing where they were going to go, or became homeless and therefore their mental state deteriorated, we took it extremely seriously. So when I think about, has Jerry Skelton made a difference? He's made a difference on a number of areas. He made other people stand up. He nudged, challenged on occasion, mainly encouraged and empowered social workers, statutory, voluntary, community organisations to take this matter seriously. The homeless awareness panels themselves gave voice to people who had lived experience of being homeless or roofless, indeed. Maybe for the first time, to hear about actually what it meant to have a permanent home, what it meant to not be homeless, and the impact it had had on being homeless. Jerry made sure that students were at the front of all of these panels. They were part of the organising of it. They were part of all the preparation. They were there on the day. It very much was a social work event, and has always been a social work event. Jerry has led from the front, as I said, a sole voice on many occasions, but not a quiet voice. And anybody who knows Jerry, he says a lot. And he says it in a way that you actually sit up and listen. He took a risk to lead on this, but that risk is paid off. It really has. Jerry, you have transformed social work training. You have transformed, therefore, practice in relation to this area. I fully appreciate that and support that. And I'm grateful that I've had the privilege really to be part of that. We can't imagine for 1 second what it's like to not know where you're going to sleep, to not know where you're going to live. We talk about hope and opportunity and control in our recovery college. Well, what control do you have if you don't know where you're going to sleep? What hope do you have? And what hope for opportunity do you have? Jerry's seen all of this. He has provided hope, opportunity, and control. He has been part of work within a large number of homeless organisations, really encouraging them to make social work, encourage social work, bring social work along, and making sure that people move towards permanent accommodation where they can have hope, control, and opportunity for a future. Jerry, keep doing what you're doing. I'm extremely grateful to have been part of it. Well done. Thank you.